roll with it.
All right.
Just put your finger up, point number 1 when it's time to start. Just go. You can't do that. Oh, that's more like...
Oh, okay.
That's okay.
Go.
Oh, you did? Oh, hey. What's up, guys? Hey, this is Skylar Davis at Culture Shock Clothing and Records here in Rockford, Illinois. We're doing a super special bonus vinyl happy hour tonight. I've got my friend Brandon Lutmer with me.
What's going on?
He is with Heritage Wine Cellars. And why are you here? What are you doing?
I'm here to promote the Culture Shock anniversary
13?
whiskey tasting.
Yes. So it's our 13-year anniversary, and 2 weeks away on June 13th, we are doing a Vinyl Happy Hour live meetup. If you want to be part of this, there is a link below. So click on that and enter to please be one of our VIP people. If you don't see that or whatever, just shoot us a DM and we'll make sure you get to be part of it. Obviously, it's going to be for 21 and over because we're doing a huge whiskey tasting.
We're gonna have a lot of different whiskeys from all over the world. It's gonna be pretty fun. And let's start it off. Let's try.
Please, let's start.
Let's try one or two while we're sitting here.
Yeah,
right now.
please. Thank you. So, it's been great to know this guy. He is a huge music fan. He is in a band also. Huge record nerd. He's been coming to the store for years, and I've been seeing him at shows and seeing his band play for years. So it's cool to have him in on this thing with us. For our Vinyl Happy Hour, it's going to be from 7 to 9 on the 13th. For 21 and over, of course, because we are doing this. But there's also going to be a record swap. And we're going to have a DJ here spinning some vinyl. What are we drinking?
This is Second Glance American whiskey, made by Orange Swift out of California.
Oh, that's got a great flavor.
Yeah, good vanilla notes, good like caramel.
This is
Delicious.
nice. This is the one we already had a little warm up with, right?
Yeah, we had.
Yeah, we already. This is
our
my
first
second
go.
round of this one. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
This is nice. I was like, this is the one I just had a bit ago when you first showed up here.
It's also
So, I
a
really enjoy
super
it.
cool, like alternative looking bottle, huh?
Mm-hmm. It is. I was like, usually we see all kinds of ornate clear glass bottles, but that's got a really cool kind of artistic look. I like that blackened bottle.
This is like the brainchild of a guy named Dave Finney. Dave Finney is known for funding like the Prisoner Wine Company, Orange Swift, all that kind of stuff. So he's always been kind of out there in the wine world too, and then now he's out there in the whiskey world. So
so that's another cool thing. Obviously, what draws me to a lot of records is the packaging and stuff like that. So with the wine, is that the like animated like prison wine?
it
things?
gets there's a few of those out there.
Okay, there's a
now.
different one. Okay.
Yeah, there's a bunch.
It looks
of them.
similar packaging wise, so
Yeah, it does,
that's what
it does,
drew me
it does.
to it. So yeah, I definitely love the packaging and the bottling and the stories behind a lot of different whiskeys that I've been getting into. It's the same thing that gets me into a lot of records, of course,
Yeah,
too.
absolutely.
So it's great to enjoy with your friends. We are going to also have the whiskeys that we're tasting are going to be available for purchase that night, too. So support your local liquor sales rep, and we can definitely set you up with some different whiskeys that night, too. For the event, though, our whole weekend we're doing some different stuff and some special sales going on for the 13-year anniversary party with Culture Shock. The VIP night only starts Thursday night just for people who are coming to the Vinyl Happy Hour live meetup. It's $25. You have to bring a record of value or notoriety or of something you want to recommend to a friend, something decent, or something you just want to give to someone else.
To give away.
Yes, to give away. And you're going to get a record, too, that someone else is bringing. So obviously you don't want to bring any crappy, scratchy, beat-up records.
Right.
No bargain store junk.
I plan on bringing
Something
something that like is relatively unheard of that I really want people to listen to.
Okay,
So
that's exactly
that's
what
kind of
we
what I'm
want.
excited.
We want something you want
Would you
to
prefer
recommend.
a 12-inch or 7-inch record for that?
I think we're going to go with LPs.
Yep, for sure.
So for something else coming up, I mean, we could do something 7-inch related, but yeah, so bring an LP, please. And then you're also going to get a Culture Shock whiskey glass. We're going to have some custom-made 13-year anniversary glasses.
Awesome.
We're going to have a lot of fun that night. It's from 7 to 9. Like I said, click the link below. Let's talk about that. Before we move on to another whiskey, though, we are doing some Vinyl Happy Hour stuff. Brandon, I see you brought a couple of records with you. Do you want to mention one of your picks for tonight?
I brought a couple.
Let's check out the first one.
The first one is a band that like no one has ever of. Can you see that?
Of course, that's what you would bring. I like that.
So
Tell us more.
This is a band from California called the Motorcycle Industry. The album is called Electric Education. So this kind of fell in the middle ground between. It's not really pop punk. It's a little early. It's a little early for emo revival, but it's in that same vein. Good, literate. It's like if you're a fan of like Say Anything, this is like the underground Say Anything.
Okay.
That type of like literate.
Did you see them
vocal
live first,
style.
or did you just?
I've
find
never
the
seen them
record?
live. No,
Oh, so you
actually,
just
one of my
found
old
them.
roommates, Brian Franklin, For I don't know, when we used to live together over on Broadway, and he's like, "Hey, you ever heard this band, the Motorcycle Industry?" I said, "No," and he played it, and I immediately fell in love, and was searching for this record for years and years and years, because it was like
small pressing,
it was
probably.
like 300 pressed in like 2008, like who knows? So that's my choice. Look up the song "The Lost Weekend." I think you can only find the stuff on Bandcamp or like YouTube.
Oh,
They're not even on Spotify.
That's the thing. You gotta really hunt down and find the real. I have a couple of features tonight too. I'm going to talk about one new release, and then I have one kind of holy grail. We were talking about a little bit earlier. There's a new release from.
Okay, let me pour you guys some more whiskey.
Yeah, let's keep that going too.
Hold on.
Let's get a whiskey next. Let's go whiskey record. I like this.
Okay.
Usually I only have one.
You got it in the frame?
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. This is no. I could get geeky and start talking about like
Go for it.
the rules of what makes a bourbon. What American whiskeys can you call a bourbon? What has to be called an American whiskey?
Yeah. What's the quickest breakdown of that?
Basically, the rules of bourbon are it has to be. There you go.
Mash bill.
Did I just pour myself twice?
That's okay. No, one's for Lauren. One's for Lauren.
Yeah, so it has to be at least 51% corn. Has to be aged at least 2 years in a new American oak barrel, and it has to be made in America.
Okay.
That's your general rule of thumb as far as being able to call it bourbon. Now, you have a lot of people that are doing like whiskeys that are finished in different types of barrels. So like whiskeys that are finished in port barrels, whiskeys that are finished in sherry casks and things like that. That has to be called like a whiskey. Or if it's aged under 2 years, it has to be called a whiskey as well.
Sure.
And not a bourbon.
Sure. Typically, I like bourbons. I think because sometimes they're on the sweeter side, not on the
high
hottest
corn
side.
content has a little bit more of the sweetness to it.
Yeah. This one seems to have, I don't know, it feels to me like it's almost like a higher proof or a little more of the sting to it than the first
It'll be a
one.
little more astringent than the stuff we had before.
Mhm. I really like it. So, do you like to work your way up that way? Do you like to start?
It's hard to say. You kind of get at whiskey tasting is well, I'm doing a wine tasting for instance. I try to start easy.
Yeah.
You start with the white, you start with the easy drinking whites, and you kind of get more intense as you go along, and your drier things are towards the end. With whiskeys, because the flavor profiles are so wildly different, and it's not as important to like refresh your palate here and there.
Okay.
I kind of just go from like this one's pretty cool and pretty affordable to like this is a crazy expensive one
So
that I'm not even allowed to taste.
So we go
you know
in
what I mean?
price range.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I trust you'll bring some good variety
Oh,
for
yeah, it'll
us
be good.
too. Maybe even a couple non-whiskeys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we'll see.
We'll see what happens. So we just have to come to the Vinyl Happy Hour
Absolutely.
live meetup. So, I just want to point out that the National's new album. What is it? I'm Easy to Find, right? I'm Easy to Find. This is the regular indie store version on clear vinyl. They did a deluxe version. I noticed there's slightly different artwork. See, there's a lot more paint strokes there, a lot more paintbrush on. Oh, it has her closed on this
And
one too.
open.
Oh, weird. Yeah. So even on the back, the artwork is different. I didn't notice that. Her eyes are open. So this is from the film. Do you know about that?
I've heard of it. I have not. I don't
I
know much
started to
about
look at it quickly.
Yeah.
I've just listened to the music from it. So they were actually on like a hiatus, I guess, and somebody who either knows them or a friend of theirs or somebody in the industry did a short film and wanted them to do the music for this film. Now that is not on the regular version of the record. This is the deluxe triple LP. It's on red, yellow, and gray vinyl and has a big poster with it, but this has an extra record that is the music to the film.
That's incredible.
The regular version is just the 2 LP of the full regular album.
The National are an indie band to me that has stayed so consistently approachable and so consistently good. Like their output has been great for a really, really long time now.
I know,
like
almost
it's incredible.
20 years probably.
Yeah.
Well, wait, were they from the 90s? Maybe early 2000s? But a long time. This is their 8th album, so at least 15, 16 years. If you haven't listened to them, his voice is very dark.
Good,
Definitely sets
like,
it apart from a lot of
baritone.
other bands.
Yeah, good, and that's what attracted me to it at first. Was like that good baritone voice.
Mhm.
And the first National album I ever heard was "Sad Songs for Dirty Lovers," and that like record still sounds relevant to this day. I mean,
yeah.
Great band,
Yeah.
incredible.
They've definitely changed their sound a little bit, though, with the instrumentation. There is a little more of electronic vibe to it. It's still a great band. It hasn't gotten the best of reviews from everyone, but
I like it.
I think it's great to hear them doing another album, and I think it's just fine. Here's the bonus one. It's actually etched on the one side, or just blank, but the one side of the LP is the music. You can only get the music on vinyl with the collector's series of it. So yeah, I really enjoyed it though. I love it. Oh, the other cool thing about it, he's written a lot. What's his name again? The singer?
Oh, I don't remember.
I forgot his name. But anyway, his wife has written a lot of the lyrics with him, and there's like 7 or 8 different female artists sharing vocals on it with him.
That's cool.
So this one has a lot of other vocals mixed in with his to really change up the sound that they have. So let's keep going. Let's finish this one off.
We'll do one more.
I noticed too, we were talking about not only the drink and how good it is and how much work is going into some of these new craft distilled whiskeys, and there's like different distilleries popping up. These are California?
These ones are all California today, yep.
So a lot of people always think, oh, Kentucky only, or,
Yeah.
Nashville or whatever.
And I get a lot of people that think like bourbon has to be from like Bourbon County, Kentucky.
Sure.
And that's
where the oldest ones are probably, but
and that's
they're
famous.
all over.
They have like the Bourbon Trail out there that people take, and they can go to like Four Roses and Maker's Mark and all that stuff. But no, the only rule for bourbon, it has to be from the U.S. So.
Yeah. The other thing, though, we were talking about the packaging. I want to mention really quick that this has the font that I recognized immediately from an American Horror Story.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, that's like an easy way for me to remember now. Now that I'm finding there's so many new distributors and distilleries and things like that, if I want to go back to one that I remembered liking, unless I find a note on it, I have to visually see it.
Yeah, the cool thing is there's a lot of good like local distilleries that have been opening up too.
Rush Creek?
Rush Creek.
In Harvard, right?
In Harvard. Grants View here in Rockford.
Yeah, that's right,
And then I
Rockford.
saw one too, Whiskey Acres in DeKalb. Great
been
place.
there?
Oh yeah,
Okay,
it's
me
incredible.
too.
Have you been there?
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's incredible.
We took a little culture shock trip there last year.
Oh yeah,
That was
literally.
really good.
Have you seen the new visitor
trip.
center?
No, they were building it when we were there. So
It's incredible.
Let's go.
It's pretty awesome.
Let's go
yeah,
sometime.
for sure.
Let's go. We'll get some people here for a meetup. Let's go into
Here.
We're gonna do another
Okay.
little tasting here.
All right, there we go. This is Lip Service Rye. This is also
Rye whiskey.
a Savage and Cook out of California. Same as the first one we tried. So this is going to be rye. So a rye whiskey is going to have a higher rye content in the whiskey.
Okay.
Now what that adds in the whiskey compared to like a bourbon, which is a higher corn content, a rye is going to have a little more heat to it, a little more bite, which some people
A
love.
little more spice sometimes.
Is that yours?
Yeah, that's hers.
I don't care. Lip Service Rye.
Oh, we forgot. Here we go. Cheers.
Cheers.
This is good though.
Yeah, it's pretty tasty. Not quite as full-bodied as like a bourbon because you don't have that sweetness from the corn, but this is really awesome in cocktails. People use rye a lot, and like a Manhattan.
Oh, Manhattan would be good. I really like old fashions when they're done right.
Yeah, of course.
But Manhattans are good too. I asked you to bring a record with tonight, and you did. I see you brought a second one
I brought
too.
two. All right.
I would expect nothing less from you.
So, this band, you see that?
Yes.
Good. This is a band called Colossal. They're from Elgin, Illinois.
Yes.
So
Some memories
Colossal
here
is
for us.
like Colossal is like the most important emo band that no one's ever heard of, right? Featuring members of the Smoking Popes, members of Duval. It's incredible. I think Neil Hennessy was their second drummer for a while. Rob Kellenberger on first drums.
You're on a first name basis with the whole band?
No,
No,
I wish.
you don't remember every single.
Well,
member?
we've met. We've met.
I figured.
We've met. This was just recently reissued because the original was on Gray Flight Records, basically impossible to find because this is one of those records that people get and they hold on to. It's a very
I missed the reissue on this somehow.
it is well it was also super limited. I wouldn't be
They must
surprised
have
if
done
it,
it
if it was all pre-sold.
It might have just been pre-sold only.
Yeah, I mean it's just, this is a band that really people really attach themselves to, and it's really easy to attach yourself to. I mean the epitome of like. Think of like what American football did with like the flitty guitars and the alternative tunings and super easygoing. That, but to a whole other degree. The level of musicianship. I mean, this record just crushes everything this band ever did. They did this record, an EP, and one song that was on an Asian Man comp.
Wow.
And so this was just recently reissued. If you can get a copy, you need to get a copy. It's like important that you do. Colossal.
That's a funny thing to me about records is how this thing, very limited in its first run, I'm sure. Then another reissue in 2018, also very limited, hard to get your hands on. Like, that's the thing about records that I love, though, is talking to someone or finding out. It's like you have to stay up with the music scene, even for records, not just with live music, to find out when something's getting reissued.
Honestly,
That's why we do, that's why we do Vinyl Happy Hour,
Right.
actually. So our whole goal of doing Vinyl Happy Hour, which we usually do on Thursdays, is because every Friday is a new release day.
Mm-hmm.
And every Friday, not only are we getting in new releases, but there's limited reissues from bands like that, small bands, large bands. We have used vinyl that we're putting out, and we want to make sure that people kind of keep up with their local record store and find out stuff that's coming out so they don't miss out on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, having I'm a recent father, and
Congrats again, by the way.
Thank you.
So cute.
And with having to be at home, I was used to going out like 3 or 4 nights a week easily, and with having to be home all the time and not going out ever anymore, it's made me stay so on top of what records are coming out and when they're coming out.
Yeah,
like it's incredible. Speaking of, there's if anybody is into like obscure like mid 2000s like emo hardcore, there's a great band called 125 Rue Montmartre that their discography is just being released on a one-sided 12-inch. They only had 8 songs they ever did, and that's being reissued at some point.
Can you come on to Vinyl Happy Hour like once a month just to let us know what kind of emo stuff is either new and coming out or getting reissued? Because we need someone to help us keep up with that.
Oh, no, there's
so much.
There's a Branson record that's being reissued.
If
anybody, I almost brought Trying to Figure Each Other Out by Branson.
Well, don't give it away. We'll have you back again. I want to do this again with you sometime.
I'll be back again.
And we can even talk about stuff that is yet to be released and anticipate that. I have for kind of a holy grail for tonight.
Yes.
A band that I know you're super familiar with.
It's my favorite band of all time.
This is an original press of the Smiths' Rank album. Their final album, well, kind of, it was made to be their final album, their live album. This is the original pressing of it, still sealed. It's never been opened. And it's got this cheesy old, I remember these. Oh yeah, never mind. Get it down there, sorry. I'm just so excited. I was like, oh, look! And it's got these cheesy little stickers. Give the gift of music. Do you remember seeing this on old CDs and cassettes? I really don't remember seeing that on records much, but
I remember seeing it on CDs.
Back in the day, I remember like a lot of music stores, or Musicland, I think, was that in the mall, had those stickers. It's even got a little tiny corner notch in it or something. Like it might have been a cutout or something, because records were towards the end of not being as popular when this came out, as CDs and cassettes started to take off. But for any Smiths fan, obviously, since they weren't around that long, I'm sure you'd have heard a lot of songs from the Smiths, and people know Morrissey. They had broken up by the time this came out. Morrissey had already released, what's his first album, Viva Hate?
Viva Hate.
Was already out. And the Smiths, I think, contractually still had to release an album. They were still locked into a contract that could have screwed their careers or something like that, or whatever. So this live recording from a couple years before was their final release.
It's a good live recording, too.
Of course, for any Smiths
fun,
fan, yeah. I mean, if you're not into the Smiths yet or whatever, I probably wouldn't start with this one.
Yeah, if you're a new Smiths fan, I would jump into, like, The Queen is Dead. Queen is Dead or Meet His Murderer.
Or any. They only have, like, 3 proper albums, don't they?
Yeah, but and then Louder Than Bombed, which I bought an original pressing from you for like $20, like 6 years ago.
I wish I still had more of those.
I know. I came like 2 weeks later. You're like, I shouldn't have sold you that damn record.
I know. Yeah, Brandon's been secretly scooping up records from Culture Shock since we started. Oh, anyway.
Yeah.
And I was really surprised to learn, because he's a huge Morrissey and Smiths fan. I knew that before he showed up here tonight. And I was like, I'm going to tease him with this sealed copy of Original Rank.
I don't have it.
He only has a reissue. I'm surprised he doesn't have an original, let alone a sealed one. So now I have one thing I could just always trump you with.
How embarrassing, I don't have an original.
I actually didn't realize till I was looking at this that Smiths, there was only single pressings of all their U.S. albums until just recently when they did their reissue, remastering 180 grams. So I was like, because I wanted to double check that this is a first pressing. I was like, oh, they only made one pressing of it, so 1988. So that was my holy grail for tonight. Again, I hope you've been checking this out, leaving comments, letting us know what you're into. Leave a comment below so other people know you're coming. If you're coming to our live Vinyl Happy Hour meetup, leave a comment below, invite some people. Are we doing a couples deal, Lauren? Yes? I think we're going to do, so it's $25 to come to the Vinyl Happy Hour. You'll get lots of goodies and be part of the record swap. You'll get to taste a whole bunch of whiskey with Brandon here. But we're doing a couples thing, so if you want to bring a friend or your wife or brother, whoever.
Or Warren Franklin.
Or Warren Franklin even. It's only $40 for 2. So get 2 tickets, give one away, bring someone with to check out our Vinyl Happy Hour. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're also going to do like a kind of like a little tiny desk concert style. We're going to do a live Vinyl Happy Hour at the store during our anniversary event for the meetup.
In front of a live studio audience.
Yes, in front of a live studio audience nonetheless. So who've all been drinking and listening to records. So I'm sure it's going to be a lot of fun. Continuing into that whole weekend, we have a concert going on. We're going to have some stuff and some sales going on. We're unveiling some new records. We've been holding back on some stuff. So anyone who comes to the Vinyl Happy Hour meetup will get first dibs to check those out. We'll have a special sale too if you want to check out the store while you're here.
Awesome.
But I think it's going to be a really great event. I don't have any left. I got a couple drops left here. We got
one more splash.
One more splash. Okay.
Cheers
a little splash here for this.
You want some too?
Again, just to cover all the details for our live vinyl happy hour meetup for our 13-year anniversary, we are doing this on Thursday night, June 13th, from 7 to 9 p.m. It is 21 and over event. It is a VIP only. It's after store hours, so the doors will be locked. So if you want to be at this, please click the link below, fill that out. It's $25 per person or 2 for $40. And bring a record of notoriety or something you want to recommend to someone. We're doing a record swap. You'll get a free whiskey glass. You're going to get a giant whiskey tasting from Brandon from Heritage Wine Cellars. And we'll have a DJ here. We're going to do live vinyl happy hour video at the event. And I think that's it. Yeah, so again, fill that out below. Shoot us a message if you don't see the link for some reason. We definitely want you to be here. Leave us a comment. Let us know who you're coming with also. So again, thank you so much. I'm Skylar from Culture Shock. We've been here with Lauren, of course, from Culture Shock, and Brandon from Heritage Wine Cellars. Thanks for bringing out some drinks with us tonight. And we're looking forward to June 13th with you.
Absolutely.
Thanks a lot. Cheers.